What's up guys, VitalSyntax here, and this is going to be my first impression review for Crysis 3, specifically the multiplayer component, as I haven't finished the single player. And I think a first impression review of a single player isn't really a proper way of doing a review, but for the multiplayer I think it kind of suits the needs of people that want to see what this game is all about right off the bat real quickly before the game has really got too far into its release cycle, if they might be interested in buying the game themselves. So I'm going to try in this video explain what features you're going to get, what content you're going to get with Crysis 3, and talk about some of the things that I like about the game, some of the things I find issue with it, and trying to compare it to some other games that you might have tried to kind of give you a better understanding of what the game has to offer. So right off the bat I'll say that I've been playing the Crysis 3 alpha and beta quite a lot, and I've also been playing the full retail version of the multiplayer for Crysis 3 for about 3 to 4 hours. So I have quite extensive experience with the actual gameplay mechanics and a good amount of experience with the maps. I've played all the maps in the game. I've played all the game modes in the game. I haven't used all the weapons as I'm not max level. I think the max level is 45, at least that's the highest weapon unlock. That's the L tag, which you unlock at level 45. And I'm interested to see if they have the nanosuit reboot. I'm guessing they do, which essentially in the beta was a system where you could reboot back to level 0, or I guess level 1, and you got some type of reward, where in the beta you could get a couple different weapons like the Typhoon or a couple of other weapons. But in this, in the full game, you actually just unlock weapons by leveling up, reaching certain levels you unlock weapons. But I'm wondering what type of rewards, if there are any, you get from doing the nanosuit reboot, and if people are actually going to go out of their way to do that. But overall, I think I'm really impressed with the game. The map design is really awesome, from the the graphics to the layout. They're not too tight, they're not too large, and there's a good variety. There's definitely a good variety in both the size and kind of the close quarters or longer range maps. There's maps that are really suited for longer range sights, like a sniper rifle or an assault rifle. And there's also some more shotgun SMG oriented maps that have more close quarter range engagements. And on top of that, there's a lot of different environments. There's a lot of these kind of rusty, grassy environments that you guys can see I'm kind of playing on here. There's also some alien tech type of environments that are really, really awesome to kind of explore and look around the maps. And then there's also some maps that are more military oriented. There's one that's like a battleship that you can play on, and that's also a really, really cool experience. So overall, really good variety in the colors and the setting and stuff for the maps. There's quite a few game modes as well. So there's Spears, which is like domination, where you have different flag points. You capture those flag points, try and hold them for a longer period of time. There's Assault, which is actually a really interesting game mode, where there's two different teams. One team has nanosuits, the other team doesn't have nanosuits. The team with nanosuits only has pistols, where the human team has whatever gun they want. Well, they have to choose from classes. I think there's like a assault rifle, a sniper rifle, and a shotgun. But they basically have way better weapons than the guys with the nanosuits. So they're kind of trying to balance out not having a nanosuit and having a better weapon versus having a nanosuit and having a worse weapon. And it actually plays out really, really interestingly. I don't know if this is going to be kind of a one-time or a very short-lived experience, kind of how Hunter has kind of played out for me. I mean, Hunter was a really cool game when I first played it, the first, I don't know, 10 or so games during the beta, but I don't really enjoy playing it more than, just occasionally every once in a while. But I don't know, Assault might be different. And the way it works is you actually only have one life, it's round-based, and you have to kind of control these areas. So that's a really interesting and extremely unique gameplay mechanic. I mean, it's very hard and very rare to see first-person shooters inventing new type of gameplay mechanics and new game modes, because the market's just so saturated. And games, first-person shooter games, there's just so many of them. So on top of that game mode, you also have things like deathmatch, team deathmatch. There's some of the returning ones from previous Crysis games, like Capture the Relay, which is Capture the Flag. Overall, I think there's a really good selection of game modes. Also Hunter, which I'm sure you guys have seen from the beta, which is kind of like a survival type of scenario where once you get killed as a soldier, you'll switch over to this invisible stealth hunter guy with a bow and arrow, which is pretty awesome. Now, the weapons. There are a lot of returning weapons from Crysis 2, and that's something I was kind of disappointed in. Not that they're returning, but the fact that a lot of the weapons are not new. There are some new weapons. but I felt like there wasn't necessarily enough. I'm kind of one of those people that really loves to play with new weapons and play with new guns. And although there are, I don't know, I think there's 2 new assault rifles. I think there's maybe 1 or 2 new submachine guns. You've got the Typhoon, the bow and arrow. But overall, I don't know. There's not a huge selection of weapons, but I will say that all of the weapons are freaking awesome, and they're all very different from each other. Whereas, you know, some other shooters, you might have 3 or 4 guns that are extremely similar, and you know, they're only different in like 1 or 2 stat areas, or they sound different or look different. But all these guns are very unique. They all have their roles, they all have their places. You know, there's a 3-round burst assault rifle that's great at longer ranges, or there's the Typhoon that just unloads at close range. It sprays like 500 rounds per second, but at range you're not going to hit anything because it's just incredibly inaccurate. I mean, it just sprays like a wall of bullets. The biggest issue right now for me, and the guy that I've been playing with, which is Foxfire, you probably see him in this gameplay and some of the other gameplays I'll be posting recently, or coming up, is the bunny hopping shotgun issue, which is an issue that was in the beta that I thought they were going to address, but they haven't yet, and it's the thing that I think needs patching first. Essentially what the issue is, it occurs where you have a player has maneuverability, which increases your movement speed, and then he plays with a shotgun. He has, I guess, point fire enhanced, which increases your hip fire accuracy. You can get the fire rate increase perk. I don't remember what it's called, rapid fire or something like that. So you can actually pump the shotgun faster, get shells out faster, and it's really ridiculous because you can just bunny hop around, just keep, you know, power jumping, because power jumping and sprinting does not take energy in this game. You can do that as many times as you want, and you actually have different energy bars for stealth and armor, which I really like. And there's actually an energy bar dedicated to your nanovision as well, so you can use that without having to worry about depleting your armor that you have to use. You want to save for armor mode like you had to in Crysis 2. Now you kind of have the option of actually using the nanovision without having to worry about running out of juice for your armor. And it actually is a really, really useful tool. I've switched over to a key binding on my mouse, that way I can access it real quickly. But yeah, back to the shotgun. People are just bunny hopping around. They just jump back and forth, hit fire while they're in the air. It makes it really hard to hit, and it's just really stupid. So I think they need to make it so you can't jump quite as often, or make it so jumping slows you down, or make it so jumping uses some type of energy so you can't just do it over and over. Or even better is make it so that you cannot ADS while you're in the air, or while you're doing a power jump, and that your accuracy is incredibly horrible, so that you can't even hit the broadside of a barn, even with a shotgun. That way, you don't have people jumping around with shotguns and bunny hopping, or at least if they do, they're not going to hit anything. So anyway, that's just a quick overview for Crysis 3. I'll probably make a bunch more videos talking about detailed information about the maps and the game modes, and explain how they work and how to play them and strategies and stuff. And also show you guys some suggested classes and loadouts, perk and weapon combinations. So make sure to subscribe if you're interested in that content, and thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video.